In the work that you've done recently, what's a project that you thought has been pretty cool, or something that you've sort of been surprised at the outcome to?
I don't know.
You have no idea. Well, the piece that I gravitated to that I remember distinctly was the piece you did for Tim Larson, and that's designing for a designer, which is always quite hard. But the piece you did for Tim Larson actually felt really quite new to me, and it didn't necessarily feel referential.
Yeah.
It actually felt like something new that had been constructed, and the typography was quite aggressive, and it felt really cool. How did that project even happen?
We were asked, well, probably more specifically, I think Sharon was asked, and then it was just a bonus that we were both, because Tim Larson is also a Moorhead State grad.
He is.
As well as a Bismarck native.
Yes.
And so when he was
Hey, where's Bismarck, Sarah? Where's Bismarck?
Right in the smack dab in the middle of North Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
Right on I-94.
Hey, is there a cheer you might know from Bismarck? Do you know any cheers from Bismarck? How about one?
Well, it's not from Bismarck. I know what you're fishing for. It's just not from Bismarck.
Would you actually grace us with that cheer?
Pork chops, greasy, greasy. We can beat the Vikings. Easy, easy.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
That was the best thing that's the best thing that's ever happened ever. I've actually made you say that, I think. Yeah.
Yes, nothing but gems dripping from this mouth.
There's nothing that you were born for more than just being in a boat and talking it up.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tim Larson.
No, Tim Larson, because
we did his invitation because they wanted, when the AIGA honored him with being named a fellow.
Yep.
They wanted. Someone had to do the invitation to the event, and they asked someone who was also a Moorhead State grad. So they asked Sharon, which became more a studio project, because pretty much everything in our studio, I mean, there's only the two of us, and it's always a studio project. It's not yours or mine, unless it's, like
the Phantom.
That comes unless it's like, I don't know, a wedding invitation or something or Sharon's done stuff for her family, or things like that. If it's personal, then it's a personal project. But anything that comes to Werner Design Works is definitely done by Werner Design Works, not by Sharon Werner or Sarah Nelson.
Sure, as it should be, because that's actually a much more efficient way of doing work, I think.
And most of the time, we don't even remember who did what.
Yeah.
I mean, which sounds like we're making it up, but we truly will look at something of, did you work on that? I don't remember. I don't know. I can't even tell. I can't tell who drew that picture.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
who did that logo? Who came up with that idea for that logo? I don't know.
I can believe it. Because you're drinking a lot, and things just sort of blur. Okay, so Tim Larson is a big hero of mine, and he's kind of a strange godfather of design in Minneapolis, because he's very egalitarian and very supportive of other designers. Getting two Moorhead State graduates into the same boat one night would behoove us to talk about what Moorhead State is in this crazy joint, because Moorhead State's a funny design college way up there in the high plains, and right next to Fargo. And they had a design professor there named Phil Mousseau, who was our professor. Would you talk a little bit about the weird Moorhead experience that you and I both endured and or celebrated?
Well, I didn't realize that Moorhead State had a good design program until I actually went there.
As neither did I.
Yeah, and I think that seemed to be the case for nearly everyone. I don't think anyone went there going, I've heard this is a really great program.
Nobody from London, nobody from Glastonbury actually showed up.
I think it was just, more than anything, I think what Moose, as we like to call Phil Mousseau, what Moose taught us was to ask questions. It wasn't how to design. It was always to ask a question of, well, you say you want a brochure, but do you really need a brochure? And just to make things appropriate, always make it smart, because he would always ask. You always had to be able to talk about your work. You had to be able to validate it. You couldn't just decorate. Or if you decorated, you just had to say, well, I decorated because it's appropriate, and here's why.
Sure.
But I think it was a lot about asking questions about what you're doing and why, and not just doing, not just imitating, but making something. And anything is okay as long as you can come up with a reason. I mean, even if it's after the fact, which I think that's one of the things I learned the most, is how to rationalize what's been done already. Well, because you can do stuff from the gut, and there's a reason why it's right. You know if it's right, it feels right, and that's even fake. And that's not what I meant to happen, but you know what, I really like it. And reason that I can sell this to the client for.
You know, okay, I need to thank you, as I should thank you for all kinds of things, but you were the one that brought the travel bar concept into my life. In concept, in concert and concept.
And also, you have to thank Deb Morrill, another
Yes,
Moorhead State Design grad, because she sold me her travel bar, which is why I had a travel bar in the first place.
It's a big deal. Travel bar is just a rolling party. Just goes on and on. One of my clients recently bought a travel bar because I brought him out here with his wife, and we had a travel bar. So he sought out a travel bar to add that to his life. And
nice.
Yeah, so thank you for that. So, you know, actually, we're losing our light here,
yes,
sadly, which is a darn shame. We're out here on Lake of the Isles, just kind of on a little fingerling of the lake. But Sarah, thank you so much for coming out here tonight.
Jeff.
And thanks for talking about Design Smoke.
It's been a pleasure.
You know, it's been more of a pleasure for me, I think. I think I win on the pleasure.
There's nothing I enjoy more than a night in the canoe with a gin and tonic.
Yep, just talking about stuff.
Just talking. And I just happen to have a microphone now and a camera following, which is a little strange, but you know,
it's worth it.
Still all good.
Yeah, it's pretty dark. So.
Yeah, Sarah, thank you so much for being on Design Smoke. And all right, let's keep drinking.
Thank you.
All right, talk to you later.